One of my favorite Bible stories is the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000, the text Vicar Luke preached on this past Sunday. Of course, we prefer the story in the Gospel of John over the version in Matthew. We prefer the story that includes the little boy and his tiny lunch of 5 loaves and 2 fish. In John's version, the little boy offers up his lunch to Jesus, and Jesus blesses it, breaks it, multiplies it, and shares it with the crowd. There is more than enough. The leftovers fill 12 baskets. We love this story because it reminds us that God will provide for our needs. God will take what little we have, and God will bless it, multiply it, and make it enough. We believe and trust in this story. We believe and trust that God will provide for us. But does God's promise of provision still hold true in these extraordinary, unprecedented times of pandemic? Even when the future is uncertain, the risk of coronavirus ever present, the economy struggling, and everything, including school, up in the air, does God's promise still hold true? Even in these times, will God still provide for us? Last Wednesday has become our tradition. Members of our Trinity family gathered on the front lawn to distribute face masks, boxed lunches, and fresh produce to our next-door neighbors at Towers East. I had forgotten that the end of the month is particularly difficult for folks who must make their Social Security check last for the entire month. The line was long, the need great. There were so many people, and I feared that there would not be enough food. We would run out. Some people would not be fed. But God provided. In spite of my lack of trust, God provided. We gave away everything we had. No one went hungry. Everyone was served. When the boxed lunches and fresh fruit and vegetables ran out, our facilities manager, Roy Cook, made trip after trip into the building to procure small bags of canned goods and pantry items for us to share with our neighbors. No one went away empty-handed. All were fed. This, of course, was not our doing. This was God's doing. No matter the circumstance, even in these bizarre and unsettling times in which we currently live, God will provide. The problem has never been in God's providing. The problem has always been in human dividing. These crazy days of pandemic living are teaching me to trust God, to trust that God has a beautiful future in store for all of us, for this congregation, for this community, for our nation, and for our world. We need to relax, do our part, and trust in God's abundance. Trust that in love, God will provide for us. Without fail, God will take what little we have, our little bit of energy, our little bit of faith, our little bit of patience, our little bit of strength, our little bit of time, food, courage, grace, and wisdom, and God will take it, bless it, and make it enough. Move through this week with the certainty of this knowledge. God will take what little you have and make it enough. This has always been true. It will always be true. We can stake everything, our whole life, on this reality. So today, if you are feeling weak, small, inadequate, unworthy, trust that God will take what little you have, the small amount of resources at your disposal, and God will take it, bless it, and make it enough. Thanks be to God.